Hello, and welcome to TK Coach on the Rocks. Lovely to see you this wonderful Monday. And I'm hoping that you're starting a wonderful week. So, today I wanted to talk about communication styles and leadership, especially when you're leading across cultures, but not necessarily only across cultures. We've actually recorded a nice podcast episode about it. Check it out. It's Leading with Agility in your favorite podcast player. You can hear a bit of it on my profile as an audiogram. But essentially, it's all about what's the most appropriate style for communication, or what are the most appropriate tools when it comes to people that prefer an indirect communication style. What does that mean? Well, some people don't like to speak, write, or communicate directly in any way, actually, which, to be honest, is a bit of a challenge for myself because I do prefer direct communication. Yeah, I've been struggling with that quite a bit. Or would I call it a struggle? Well, maybe just because some indirect communicators are even a part of our team. Now, I always found myself really gravitating towards direct communicators and direct communication, especially with leaders. I believe, you need to tell the truth to power. As leaders, you need to be communicating directly quite a bit. And when it comes to this indirect stuff, I was always a bit apprehensive. But what I found out is, well, if you just communicate directly, some people that really prefer to keep things more at a distance would even think that you're rude, even though you're just being direct. This is, I would think, a very effective communication style. It might be effective, but it isn't always the best choice to make in terms of the way you communicate. So there I am, stuck with a conundrum. Um, Being a leader and communicating as a leader is one thing, and I need to definitely make arrangements. But if you're working with people long term, people will adjust. But when it comes to being a consultant or a coach, the situation is different. People will see you, and there's only the first and only chance to make a first impression. And there's sometimes a lot of people in the sessions we lead, especially as facilitators. So, how do you adjust? How do you adjust your own personal style to fit the needs? But also, how do you communicate when there's multiple communication styles in the room and there is very little time for people to adjust? That's something we discuss on our podcast, so have a listen. But I think there's, just to give you a bit of a spoiler, there's some interesting tools, powers of metaphor. You can communicate through the use of a wonderful tool of clean language. But I think changing and shifting channels, using writing, sometimes even using play, is very interesting what people can do when you give them Lego bricks to communicate difficult concepts with. So many other ways that you can use for indirect communication to build bridges. And if you're in direct communication or a direct communicator like myself, struggling with these people that communicate less directly, I think, it's just a question of what you want to achieve. If you're fine being treated as rude and obnoxious, it's okay, right? Maybe that's your style. To each their own. But the challenge is if you're not aware of why people are perceiving you in a certain way. And maybe it's because of your communication style. It's okay to do whatever you want to do as long as it works for you. But I think a leader always needs to reflect and always needs to see the impact they have on others. So the question I have for you is this: is this the particular impact you want to have in the world with your style of communication? I'll leave you with this, and hopefully we can meet again tomorrow for the next Coach on the Rocks. Bye bye.